What's up, all? I know that I don't usually make 2 updates in one day, especially after being gone for so long, but it's been that kind of day. I made my first update earlier in the day where we had our official reveals of Ghost Rider, Hawkeye, Strider, and Red Armor. I want to piggyback off that, and this one might be a little bit longer because we've also had now a leak list of the roster, complete with pictures and so on. I think I've learned a lot in the last year not to trust anything 100%, but at the same time, it does look very, very real, and that would round out the 12 then. But let's piggyback off a couple things. Let's talk about what we've learned and go into this. There's a lot of argument and a lot of bickering going on right now. A lot of mixed emotions, a lot of mixed reaction to all the news, and it is very overwhelming. So things really should, be high. Emotions are flaring right now. So, all right. So complete with the 12, we're talking about a roster of 50. So. I'm not going to complain about the number of the roster at all. 50 it's pretty good. If anyone remembers last year, I was, complaining a little bit due to the lack of size of roster in addition to roster selections. But if you're bringing me up to 50, I really can't criticize you too much for that, can I? Especially when we don't even know if this is the end of it or not. At this point, it's very hard to assume that. Now they're saying in the next this on disc version that it's going to be $40. So if I chose to buy it, it's going to cost me $110 so far, which that I don't like, because in the end we are paying $110, for most of us that bought the special edition. And then if we chose to buy this, somebody earlier, I believe it was Richard in the page, made a good point that I didn't want to spend $70 for a demo, which I can't fault that logic, especially when Capcom's telling us that we have to pay $40 for this edition of it. Now, for this edition, here's what you're getting. You're getting 12 new characters. You're getting... apparently a rebalanced roster, so what we know today might not be the way it is in November with all of the characters. We're getting spectator mode, which I personally don't care that much about, but I know a lot of people do, so that's a good thing. And now people are thinking, if we're coming out with this new edition, they're going to fix everything that was wrong with the first disc, right? Don't hold your breath, guys. There's a reason that I stopped playing that game for months. It didn't hold my attention very long. Lack of modes. I thought the endings were random. All those beautiful trailers they made, and you give me 2 comic panels. Is there going to be a story mode? A real one, Those are 3 improvements that I would want, We don't know that. Truthfully, we know a lot of information about what we're getting, but to think that all those things could magically be changed is incorrect. So you better start changing your standards now or prepare for another troll war, for the next 4 months. I'm disappointed on some things, and I'm extremely excited about others. And that is the exact problem with this game for the most part, and has been since day one. First, you're excited that they're making it. Then they do some boneheaded things. Then they do some awesome things. And it just goes on and on and on. And it seems like they continue to do that. One, we now have the leaked roster. I know I'm jumping around a little bit, but we now have a leaked roster. Let me just name the rest of them for those that don't know. Doctor Strange, Frank West, Iron Fist, Nemesis, Nova, Phoenix Wright, Rocket Raccoon, and Virgil. Let me put it this way. Frank West was a very obvious choice. I think most of us knew he was eventually going to get in. So Frank really shouldn't bring up anything to any of us, really. We all knew he was going to come. Doctor Strange and Iron Fist, I think, were two people that probably deserved to get in. I think there was enough fan support, and I think enough people really did think that they could do cool things with them to warrant their inclusion. Virgil, I know, was big on the on the polls. Nemesis is, I guess, an interesting selection. I don't really 100% support that one, but I'll give him credit for it. Nova, Phoenix Wright, and Rocket Raccoon, they don't belong in the same category here. I'm not trying to suggest that, but Nova threw me a complete curveball. I'm not saying that they can't do anything good with them. Anyone that knows my logic is whoever they put in these games, they're going to make a moveset for him, hence Phoenix Wright, who, I don't care if you call me a hater or not, he doesn't belong in this type of game. And I'm allowed to disagree with you. Let's get that straight. We can all disagree with one another. The fact of the matter is, Capcom put him in. There's nothing I can do. I accept that. He's in the game. I'm not going to start a war over his inclusion. I don't have to like it, though. I still don't like friggin' She-Hulk or any of them being in there. I accept it, though. Rocket Raccoon, I'll be accused of a hater. Wasn't the argument for number 2 that the roster had too many dumb characters in it and silly characters? I mean, let's be honest here. If I like Phoenix Wright, for instance, but I don't like Rocket Raccoon, I can't argue against Rocket Raccoon because I'm supporting Phoenix Wright. So you have to take both of them or you don't take either of them. So that's one. You can't play the favorite card here. You either have to take them or leave both of them. I just have to sit here and wonder why anymore. If you go back to my last couple videos before I took my break away from this game, I was continuously saying there's a reason that Mega Man and maybe even Gambit or others, we're not included in this game. They can't include everyone we like, guys. And that's something that we all need to accept. Virgil potentially was left off for a reason. Maybe so was Doctor Strange. Maybe Ghost Rider and all of them were. Because now they have enough characters, once again, to make most people buy this next installment. If I am excited about some of these characters, but some of them are just pathetic. I'm not afraid to say that. Again, I accept them. But I don't have to like everything that they've done. And if you want to know why there's an influx of fighting on these communities and these boards and so on, the reason why there's so many people that are hating and there's so many people that are sucking up to Capcom, they're not. The fact is, you just have a large group of people that seem to like everything that's going on, and you have a large group of people that don't. And both of them had different expectations for whatever reason. I feel like I'm dead in the middle, where I love certain things that they've done with this game. I hate certain things they've done with this game. Now, it's exactly the same way. This is a small metaphor for this game, this new edition. Whereas characters like Doctor Strange, who deserve a shot, and then you throw someone like Rocket Raccoon and Phoenix Wright, who I understand a lot of, especially younger people, think this is cool. They think it's great. That's fine. I'm not saying that you don't have a point. They shouldn't market this game just for me. I don't have to like everyone in the game. I just think there are better ways to also explain that. I don't have to sit here and say they suck for putting Rocket Raccoon in, do I? I don't think I do. But at the same time, I don't have to gloat. You have to start understanding one another. Both of these sides have to start understanding each other. We all like different characters. Face it. My favorite character is Jubilee. If they put Jubilee in this game, I bet 25% of the people that actually play that game would enjoy her inclusion. Truthfully. Let's be honest here. Jubilee is a cult favorite. She is not a fan favorite. So, but it does annoy me when someone like Raccoon gets in there. Not because they didn't put Jubilee in, but because I sit here and I wonder, Marvel especially has so many big time names. So many. I've heard cries for Elektra, Miss Marvel, Gambit, so on and so on. They have so many names. It's not even worth my time to get into it. Daredevil, but it all of a sudden, it just boggles your mind of why did this character get in and why didn't these others? And I don't even like all those characters I just named, so don't even accuse me of being a fanboy. The problem is, what we have is too many people refuse to see why this game isn't everything it could be, and we have too many people that don't see the good things in this game and refuse to look only at the negative. The reality of Marvel vs. Capcom 3 is that we all should be happy that they've made it in the first place. That's one. Two, they've made more better decisions than worse decisions. So you must give them credit where credit is due. But at the same time, you cannot be blind to some of the stupid things that they have done to this game. And I am 26 years old. I'm not a 15-year-old gamer. I'm not somebody that's just going to accept everything that they do. And if I'm accused of being a hater, I'm a hater then. I don't have to like everything Capcom does. I'm 26, and I've played almost every fighting game there has been since the early 90s. Okay? I've liked a lot of them. I've, not liked some of them. But let's face it, this game could be so much better than it is. You want to know why there's all these comparisons to Mortal Kombat? Because the people that are playing Mortal Kombat and then played Marvel vs. Capcom 3, they're looking at it and they're like, what happened here? I'm not one of them. Personally, I think it's a bogus comparison because they're two different series and they're made for two different kind of fighting types. When I was a kid in the 90s, I was playing Street Fighter 2 and Mortal Kombat 1 through 3 at the same time. I wasn't sitting there on one side, and maybe that's just a product of being in the Facebook era and the Twitter era. I sound like an old man now, but maybe it's just the fact that for some reason we have to jump on these sides. I don't know why we can't just accept both of them are excellent games, and we should be very happy that both of them are even out. Now, I've sat here and I said on the community board a couple, probably weeks ago now, maybe a couple months ago, I bought Soul Calibur 4 for $15 about 2 or 3 months ago, and was blown away that there was probably more content in that game, which came out in 2008, than Marvel vs. Capcom 3. If I'm selfish, which I think is a better word than being a hater, I accept that. Because after 10 long, rolling years of waiting for them to make this dream game, my expectations were extremely high. I have since lowered said expectations, and which is why I am much more accepting of this game. That said, let's be honest here. We paid $70 for a special edition game that, admittedly, they have basically said with this new edition, it was not complete. It was not all it could be. Now, I'm okay with getting taken advantage of. That's fine. Capcom needs to make money too. But in order for us to stop trolling one another and to accept the facts that Capcom is making a lot of money off of us, and we should demand certain things, we need to look at both perspectives. You need to understand that neither side is completely right, and that it is foolish to be sitting here comparing games. It is foolish to be sitting here raging about why certain characters in. You don't have to like it. I have openly admitted that I don't like a lot of the character selections. Not because of who the characters are, but because there are so many better characters they could put in. And no, I'm not even talking about my favorite characters, because God knows they will not put in most of my favorite characters. I'm ecstatic enough for Ghost Rider. That is good enough for me as far as, my characters that I like. I'm not sitting here as a fanboy for either side. I'm sitting here saying, can we just admit that there are both great things to praise this game about and flaws about this game? Can we just admit that? and stop persecuting one another for either loving the game or hating it, I think that we need to, both accept each other's sides. That the people that are being labeled as haters, they just simply want more. And the people that are being labeled ass kissers, they're simply happy with what they have. And I don't think either side is wrong, to be honest with you. I'm trying to be the happy medium here. I've tried to do that, for the last year on these update videos. And today is no different. I am very happy that they are doing something about, they have listened to their fans. I am glad that they are doing it. Capcom's not giving us what we want for free, guys. That's something that we all need to understand. I hate to spend $110 total if I choose to buy the new edition, but you do have to accept that for them to give us what we want, you do have to pay. Some people won't, and that's their prerogative. I don't understand why either side is trying to force the other one to see their viewpoint and accept it as if it's the best. I certainly would not be arguing for either side and trying to proclaim one the winner. It's not going to happen because they're not wrong. And that's what I'm saying. So I'm going to wrap this video up with saying this wasn't the most analytical video I've ever done with some of the things. This is me just simply reaching out to people and saying, if you don't like some of the things, you can express it, but don't put other people down for disagreeing with you. And for those that love it and can't take criticism of the game, can you open your eyes and at least say, maybe they have a point, but I don't agree with it, and it's good enough for me. That's all I'm saying. Trying to be the voice of reason. So no intros, no pleas for anything else, just 17 minutes of classic Joey Mac on the attack. Peace out, y'all.